This is part 7 of 13 of our response to Stephen Hargrave's message in the COGR's Revelation series.
I have to say this. What we say is foolishness to those that are fools.
All right. Amen.
And,
Amen.
and not only is it foolishness to those that are fools, but it also highlights and magnifies their foolishness when they proclaim how foolish this wisdom really is. Did you get it? All right.
Well, I feel foolish.
How would you know? Couldn't know. If you're under that strong of a delusion, he might be the fool. He wouldn't know.
The problem in this little clip is that that's Stephen doing what he does best, which is intimidating people.
Yeah.
He's embarrassing people so that they wouldn't dare argue with him. And that's just simply control. And you see that in a number of different ways.
You're wrong by definition. I am the arbiter of what is wisdom. This is wisdom by definition. If you don't get it, it must be you that's broken. It's not me that's broken. I don't want to hear your feedback on my leadership or on these doctrines, which is a terrible philosophy if you're wanting to eventually get to the truth, like the scientific method might. I'll get feedback. I'll improve. I'll get new ideas. We'll get some new DNA in the gene pool of ideas. And when you disallow that, you're just hankering for a mistake-ridden, very narrow set of broken ideas that don't have a mechanism to improve themselves.
I remember a tape, and Ray was talking about something, and he said, "I don't care if you're right."
Right.
And
right.
That's hard to get by.
That should set off all your red flags. You should gather the children and leave. In fact, I could read you from my journals. I have a specific journal entry, a thing Ray preached. And it was one of the things that's noted in the journal as a turning point in my deconversion when he preached about the keys and said that by the power of God, we have made things right and wrong. So if they say wearing sandals is sin, heaven agrees with me. And I knew better than that from my study of the scriptures. I knew where morality flows from. I knew what the basis of right and wrong was, and that it wasn't fiat. It doesn't come down from heaven. It isn't dictated by people, especially. It's not even dictated by God. It flows from our nature as conscious creatures. And I just disagreed. And there was a parting of the ways. That's enough. That's enough to know that you're in a bad place.
And one of the things that happens in cults is that they interfere with people's ability to even make clear decisions about what is right and what is wrong.
Right.
And so when you hear some of the preaching about getting vengeance and raining down wrath on the non-believers kind of thing, and even some of the cries to be able to judge people, you begin to think that doesn't sound much like Christ. I'm like, what's happening here? But by the time that people get manipulated, they just go, "Oh yeah, okay, let me go get my gun." It really destroys people's ability to be able to think clearly about things.
And you have Ray Tinsman. I'm sure you probably heard this clip as well. Maybe you have as well, Ben. But Ray said, "Even if I'm wrong, I'm still right. And it's better to do the right thing." What did he say? It's better to do the wrong thing with the right people than it is to do the right thing with the wrong people.
Which would be 180 degrees from where that should sit.
Yeah, that's why normal German boys put Jews in ovens, because they had sort of blind allegiance, just a step-by-step following of orders without anyone being brave enough to speak up for what was right.
there is a cost to speaking up.
Yeah.
There is.
There's a big cost. There's a
Mhm.
big cost in those kinds of fundamentalist groups, in this group in particular. I kept my stuff treasured in my heart for months, my doubts, because I knew as soon as I spoke up, you become a pariah, you lose your authority. Um, and even their legitimate questions. It's not a safe place to have doubts. It's been preached. Steve's preached it to apostles. He said, you all need to get a vision of the three, you're going to apostle yourself right out of here. Nobody's
Apostle
safe.
yourself to hell, I believe he said.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, you just need to toe the line. You don't need to you don't need to believe it. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to have any opinions about it.
You don't need to understand it, but you need to believe it.
Yeah, you need to believe it without the understanding, which I refuse to believe things that way.
Yeah.
I never believed things that way. And in fact, when I found out everyone was believing things that way, I was pretty surprised. Pretty disenchanted.
This concludes our video. Thank you for joining us. The resource slides go by rather quickly for sake of time. You may wish to pause on them to read them. There is a link in the description box to the Google Classroom where you will find the resources for this video.
Disappointment is a bitter pill to swallow, paying back the hope I borrowed from someone I never knew. It's a forfeit, humans in the suits of heroes, undressed by whispered conspiracies, in quest for truth. But if the truth is what you're looking for, you don't get to choose the answers anymore. So tell me, do you really still believe that the truth will set you free?